Obviously in the past little while, you and I have been, plugging into bigger thinkers and networks. And one of the ones you've been talking to is Dan Martell, which is awesome. Buy back your time. If you don't know who Dan Martell is, you should definitely look him up. But Dan Martell was telling you about, so it's funny because I've had some big thinkers that'll tell me like, they get upset when people are out teaching their things and not giving them credit. But he had a different approach to that.
Yeah, he's literally on a Zoom call the other day, and it's very inspiring to me. He's like, you can take, because you're paying me for consulting, he's like, you can take any of my stuff and you can teach it as if it were your own. You can give me credit if you want, but I'm not worried about it. Because someone was like, well, why would you ever do that? Like somebody typed it in the chat or whatever. And he's like, you think that my mindset is so small that I would care if you take my stuff and teach it as your own? My mission's so big that I'd want you to do that because I think that it'll help more people and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, that is an abundance mindset thinker, like if I ever saw one.
Yeah.
So.
In my publicly taking that stance, it probably takes those on the fence people and that makes them want to give more credit, like we are right now.
Yeah, like we're name dropping him. Like apparently I don't have to. I can just teach his stuff, but
But makes you kind of want to, because that's the people that I like to learn from. Another thing we were talking about was, you were talking about something else a minute ago that Dan told you. I lost it, Josh. I don't do that very often.
Well, but like getting on big time people, it's really interesting. Like I'm going to see Patrick Bet-David next week. Super stoked about that. If you're not following him, you should. You've been in the kind of Grant Cardone circle pretty tight.
Yeah.
Like I guess what's some of your realizations? I mean, I feel like over time we have a smaller group of people that you get around and then you level up to the next level and next. We're starting to get into some big time people and it's kind of fun. What's maybe some things you've learned on that?
I think it's be very specific and intentional with that time. Like know when you're going to spend time around someone that's accomplished something, it's be there knowing what you want to get answered. So for me, I had very specific questions about PR or public relations. I had very, very specific, desired outcomes from that relationship, not just, wasting time, but also like be relational, be someone that people want to work with. Because I feel like if you're going to, just because you may pay for something or you may work your way up through an affiliation to someone, it doesn't mean that they want to work with you. So I kind of want to create a relationship where both I'm getting my value, but also getting value and being relational enough to want them to continue to do things with us in the future. So
I love that stance. Like for me on that topic, like I straight up tell people, like if they're a big time person, I just paid you $100,000. Like I don't tell them that, but like, in my brain, I'm like, I paid you $100,000. A lot of people are like, oh, I paid $100,000, so I get this and this, and they try to like negotiate.
Yeah.
I like to negotiate against myself because I feel like with big time people, if you're looking to build a relationship, the best thing you can do is just be like, how can I be the perfect student? Yeah. Like in your mind, and even literally asking their team members. Like I told PBD's team, I was like, I want to be your literal perfect student. What does that look like? Like you're never going to catch me complaining about anything. Even if it was a legitimate complaint, I'm like, I'm going to bring him a gift.
Yeah.
Like he brings people gifts all the time. Like
I'm the same
model
way.
him.
Like when it's crazy too. The cheaper the person, the more they expect. People that'll pay us $97 or something, would think like, well, what do I get for that? And then I meet people that'll pay $50,000 and be like, okay, I'm just going to see how this goes. And it's like more open. So it's balancing the intentional with my time, but also being very open to the entire experience and learning from the experience, because that's kind of how, coaching is. I wouldn't buy coaching if I didn't have something that I felt like I wanted to learn from that person. But also I think that it goes into, and Brandon Dawson, who I've spent a lot of time with, teaches on this, and you've probably seen this before, but he always draws a pie chart and he's like, here's 5% of pie sliver is things that you know, 5% is things you don't know, or you don't know, and 90% of the pie is things that you don't even know that you don't know. So that's why you will never know exactly what to ask. And then as that same thought process continues to go, it's there's just so much out there, so much potential. That's why I'm going to constantly expand my mind. At this point, some of the times I'm accessing people and I don't really know what I'm after, but I know I'm after the next thing, and I have to get in that room or that circle to identify that. That's why I'm going further outside of my own industry now, because it's bigger than that.
Yeah. Well, and for me, it's like, this is what I want to say. Proximity is power, right? It's like, if I was going to write something down from this little interview, I'd be like, proximity is power. Because when you get close to somebody, like Justin's saying, like when you get close to someone as a mentor, all of a sudden, even just physically being near them, like you by osmosis, you grow.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is targeted, like, hey, I want to learn online marketing. Who's the best at that in my niche? I'm gonna go directly to them. I'm gonna buy their course. I'm gonna get involved in their mastermind, whatever it is, leaps and bounds. Then other times it's like, how do I just get physically near that person? Because you will, by osmosis, level up by something they said to somebody else, or
their ability to promote you. I don't want to say audience hijacking, but like if you're getting into collaborating in a way that gets you in front of their audience and they're your audience, and like we're talking about some pretty big names in the business space, but like honestly, in the beginning, I was trying to get in the rooms with people that are now my friends, Medicare Bob and around people like Danielle Kunkel and Jaggeresh and just all these different people in my industry. And a lot of people who watch this might not know who those people are, but to me, they were like people that came before me that had accomplished something I was looking to accomplish. The other day, early on, I was buying stuff from Russell Brunson all the time. Yeah. And the other day, he was chatting it up with me online and then followed me on Instagram. So it's interesting as you unpigeonhole yourself and reach out to people, how many of them are, I can't even tell you who. I've got cell phone numbers right now because of my connections of people that like are very difficult to get a hold of,
Well, and here's the deal. Back to our earlier point, like when you are the student and you bring a gift to the teacher, like just metaphorically or physically, like when you're the one that is acting like that and you're the ideal student or you're the ideal whatever, and you're basically like giving respect to the person that you're trying to have a relationship with, you're the kind of person now that person wants to promote.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to promote, like somebody comes to you right now, they can pay you $50,000 and become your best friend in the next 5 years just because it works out and they're a great person and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Or somebody can pay you $50,000 and be like, expect all this and have this whole different attitude. And how much are you going to want to promote that person? It's like, I'll just fulfill what I need to fulfill, but I'm not going to go out of my way. And so like that's a pack.
For the next relationship through, like this is, we have a value ladder that's like, you can attend a conference, you can be a user of software, you can be this is more on the agent side, but like you can get into a bigger workshop, in a mastermind, you can join the hierarchy, but it's like this continuous value ladder. But all through that, we're also sifting for the extremely rare occasion that I get a partner that we actually, like me and you, like you came through that, and now we actually collaborate on things together that I can't just collaborate on anybody with. It's very selective and relationship driven, and also, I mean, it's talent, it's relationship, but it's also intention and desire to work together. And you get that through proximity. Nobody's just going to reach out to you and they don't even know you.
Like, hey, I want to be your best friend. I know you're 5 levels below me, but I want to be your best friend. That's not going to happen.
Right.
Well, it's kind of funny, like even talking about friendships, like I was literally, you talk about like those early circles, it's not always going to be the billionaire that you're like, we're just now on the cusp of those types of relationships. But when you start, a few years ago, I was a fangirl of you.
Yeah.
I was a Justin Brock fangirl, and I'm like, I just want to meet this guy, and I saw you online and we interacted, and you weren't so big at the time, but you were 3 levels above me. And then we turn out to be, you're one of my closest friends in the world. Yeah. And that's just...
Josh is going to be in my vow renewal ceremony.
Who would have known?
So, yeah, man, we definitely get close to some people. I have partners that, I got around like that. They're now my best friends. Tyler, they're just different people that you meet and they become, great. Jeff Root's one that I talk to all the time online. He lives in France now. I talk to him all the time. And when I started out selling insurance, I was listening to this podcast on and I thought he was like one of the biggest deals in insurance. And you made him a super normal guy, but like very successful. Obviously.
And still a huge deal. But very normal.
Yeah.
And I don't think like towards like the more I get to know people, I think that's the misconception is like these people, which maybe you and I to somebody watching this are weird. Those people, it seems kind of weird to me, but it is where we're at, and we're going quickly. But it's like they have something special that I don't, and that's a big misunderstanding. No. Like when I'm something special, we just do the things that
they have
need to be done.
Big dreams, big goals. That's the one thing that, and you may have that. The one thing that the people that I think we're all talking about, like when you opened up Dan Martell, he said my goal, my vision, my desire is so big that I'm not worried about somebody teaching my stuff, because technically that would even play into what my desire is to help change the world.
Well, look, if I just make that a part of my curriculum to the hundreds of thousands of people eventually that I'll be teaching throughout my life, how many times am I going to give that credit to Dan Martell? He accidentally or purposely, I don't know, just got a way bigger audience because now he's teaching teachers that are giving him credit because they don't feel like they have to give him credit.
Right.
So you feel like, oh, I want to give that person credit.
Yeah. I don't think it's purposeful. I think it exudes in authenticity. Just be yourself and you're going to connect with people. So yeah, so I mean, basically we just wanted to talk today about, that proximity, getting around people, all tied in. We're here at the And Agent Mastermind. We have a collaboration on the And Agent Mastermind or with another partner, Justin Thomas, as well. And we teach insurance agents how to lead an and agent, a lifestyle. Like, I'm going to think bigger about how can I improve the quality of my life, and what we'd like to add to it is scaling those operations so that we can add more value to the lives of the agents that we work with, not just people that are in the mastermind, but the agents that they hire or they recruit, their customers. Like, when you create this process of helping everyone make their life better, then the people that they help, their life will be better as well. And it's like this web of positivity.
Ripple effect. And like the whole point is like, who wants to in 5 years wake up extremely rich with an awesome business, but then have no family life to share it with because you screwed that up? Or vice versa. Who wants to have an awesome family life in 5 years and wake up and have no money or be a slave to your business because it's just not set up correctly? The whole event, the whole program that we have is just really like diving into that. How do you build both at the same time? There's a trick to it. It takes a lot of intentionality to do both at the same time and to grow it like that. And then obviously having you in there talking about blowing your business up and scaling on a large level.
One of the big things there is it's how can you save a bunch of money that I spent to figure out a process, or also save the time that I invested in something I thought I wanted and then got it and realized it wasn't as big a deal to me as I thought it was. Which I think goes back to a lot of the things you teach is, making sure that the objective will align with what is actually going to make you happier.
Yeah.
Not just what you think you're supposed to do because, so and so did it or
I got to scale to 7 figures. Well, okay, why?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying don't do it. Yeah. We did it. Yeah. It's benefited our life.
Yeah.
But like sometimes along the way, people think that the money or the whatever is going to be the magic thing that changes everything. Yeah. I think at this point, I'm 100% convinced of this. Nobody can convince me otherwise, that money is just an amplification tool. Yeah. If you're happy and then you get more money, I believe that you're going to use that in ways to continue being happier and happier. I do. If you are miserable and then you get a bunch of money, you're going to find ways to use that money as a tool to keep perpetuating misery in your life. So what is the goal and how? If it's just money focused, first of all, you're not apt to make as much money because it's selfishness and people don't get on your board with your mission.
Nobody's going to follow you if you're perpetuating the idea that you just want to make a lot of money.
Yeah, help me make the year is not a very good mission, but like for me, I recently figured out that I want millions of people to be more intentional with their life.
I absolutely can't stand how convoluted those references to figures have become.
Oh, yeah.
And even in the insurance world where we started out, people will be like, talk about how much production they had as if there was actually a relevance to how much money they made or how happy they were or any of it, based on it. So, and I've fallen into that trap as well, but it's so important. We have both, made more money than I think, at times in our life we ever thought we would have, especially in the time frame that we did. But we've also both things that we thought would make us happy, and then eventually, got rid of that or decided to postpone it. Like you talked about the house you were going to build, and you started looking at the money of it, and you just decided, is this something I really want to focus on right now?
Right. The mission, if I use that money to buy something that's going to propel the mission forward, that's worth doing. More infrastructure, like that building you bought for your office. I'm going to guess, I don't know this, but I'm going to guess that's a pretty awesome
a good
thing.
Investment.
Yeah.
My staff is happier. My team is happier. My family likes being up there.
Your experience going in jazzes you up. It makes you want to go further. But I don't know this, but I would think maybe your Lamborghini or lake house or something. Yeah, because it's not contributing
and the lake house. Those are things you think you want because you're around other people that have them, and you're like, wow, I wish I had this place, and you get it. And to be honest, I didn't want the distraction because the things that make me happiest is my mission in being able to spend my fruits traveling and having experiences with my
freedom.
family. The freedom, really. Yeah, and when you have big assets that aren't just cash flowing, low to no maintenance assets, they cause you more headache. And I saw this quote one time that said, I spent the first half of my life trying to acquire things and the second half trying to get rid of it all. And I was like, man, I think I figured that out faster than this guy, because I'm gonna get rid of most of it in the first half of my life.
Well, you can learn from other people's experiences and failures.
Yes. Yeah, it's a funny statement, and I'll try to wrap it up here, because I know we're just trying to talk and catch up with people. So we appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully, we've just noticed on the channels that people just appreciate more genuine conversation than like us trying to just come on here and perpetuate some like not good idea or just manufactured idea. The overall objective here is to work towards making people that we're helping happier, and sometimes money is a part of that, especially if your objective is to grow a great big business. If that is an objective, figure out why. And if it is, though, you do have to make it profitable. You have to have revenue to do that, right? So if it's just to have money, though, why? Exactly. Because the things that I bought with money, most of it is a letdown. It's not 100% bad. It's just not as good as I thought.
Well, it leaves you wanting more. It's not like money's bad. I think here's my, and I know we're trying to land this, but it's a good conversation, so maybe I'll just leave it open. But for me, it's like, when you are going for a monetary goal, people might say, like, Josh, you kind of sound like I shouldn't have a monetary goal. I don't think so. I just think the purpose of it is to become somebody new, like to become a better human, because you can't get to, let's say right now you're at $100,000 and you want to get to $1 million. You cannot remain the same person and go from 100,000 to $1 million. That's a big enough leap that you have to figure out how to hire and then be somebody that people want to work for. And then you have to figure out, so you're becoming better. And I think at the end of the day, that it's just about growth. Yeah. And we're happiest when we're growing. We're not happy when we're sitting in neutral. We're meant to be in go mode. Yeah. And whatever that looks like for you, it might be really aggressive in work. It might be really not aggressive. And maybe it's only a few hours a day that you work or whatever. But most people need growth to feel happy and fulfilled. And I think that's the point of life, is just to see how you can become the 10.0 version of yourself.
And I'm looking at this point, money for me is about access, progress, and helping other people have happiness. And then we have shared experiences together. Those are the things that make me feel good. I love being here. I hate getting away from my family, but I love being around people that are trying to better themselves and do that. And not wisdom. Like I've always been wisdom. It's a Joey Friends quote. But seeing all the friends, I am pretty wisdom. But I love imparting some kind of idea of something that I learned that it can help somebody curb that. And I've seen people, like at a high level that we've helped with something, and then they're able to scale faster and they're able to do things more efficiently and quicker. And I felt like, wow, I was a part of that. And I see some people help someone get somewhere, and then when they're not making money off of them anymore,
they just cease their relationship.
They think, oh, he's not loyal. I've actually experienced this personally with people.
I have too.
And it's such a like they're missing the point. That the happiness is like, hey, if we can work together and have business opportunities where we earn revenue, that's great. But my relationship with people can't be based on my ability to earn from them only. No. Like how empty and that's just tacky.
Super selfish, and that's the whole mentality of like holding your cash like this, holding your time, your energy, your cash it's like
the
this.
Scarcity mindset.
Yeah, but when you live like this, you're just wide open. Yeah. Things flow much better.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, we appreciate you guys being on this. Absolutely. And we'd love to. Again, we're getting our proximity is power when we get around big time people. If we can be of some kind of value or help to you, just reach out. We'd love to be of help.
If you're interested in the End Agent Mastermind as well, it's what we talked about at Medicare Con last year, is the total agency transformation. If you're in the insurance, life insurance, Medicare insurance niches, I would love to help you with that. So reach out to us. You can email us over at info@justinbrock.com or reach out to myself or Josh on Facebook.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.